Sis, the man God has for you, he won't be perfect, but he will be teachable. He will be willing to look within, to grow, to unlearn, and to become the man God is calling him to be for you and for the relationship. And if you've only experienced toxic relationships, red flags, heartbreak, and confusion, this kind of love, it can feel unfamiliar. But today, I'm going to show you what it actually looks like. Because the Bible tells us in Proverbs 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. And the right relationship, it will sharpen you, not break you. Hey sis, welcome to Girl Date the Good Guy, the Christian relationship podcast for women who are healing from heartbreak, learning to trust again, and desiring something real, healthy, and God-led. I'm your host, Emily Jordan, Christian mentor and relationship coach. And if you're in a season of healing, confusion, or starting over, you're not alone. I've been there too. This is a safe space to rebuild your heart, rediscover who you are, and prepare for the love God has for you when the time is right. So grab your crown, your heart, and your journal. Your royal training begins now. Hey sis, welcome back to another episode of Girl Date the Good Guy. This is your sister heart-to-heart conversation today. If you are new here, welcome. And to my listeners that keep coming back for more, thank you for being here today in this space with me, because I want to talk about something that doesn't get talked about enough. What it looks like when a man is actually willing to grow, not just say the right things, not just make promises, but truly have a teachable heart. And I'm not speaking from theory today. I'm speaking from experience. Because recently I had a moment in my relationship that just stopped me in my tracks. It was an absolutely aha moment. And the Bible speaks so clearly about the kind of heart in Proverbs 9:9. Instruct the wise, and they will be wiser still. Teach the righteous, and they will add to their learning. Sis, a wise man, a good guy, a God guy is a teachable man. So me and my good guy, we were sitting there talking about our journey. And if I'm being honest, from the outside looking in, our relationship probably doesn't make sense to anyone, because from day one, we've put God at the center. We've chosen to wait on his timing. We've chosen to trust his plan. And let me tell you, neither one of us thought it would take as long as it has. But we trust God fully. Just like Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. And in this conversation, he had something to say that was so simple, yet so profound. He said, I can see why so-and-so sees things the way he does. He's probably not happy with me right now, but no one would understand why this is happening the way it is unless they were in my shoes. They would understand. I still have things to learn. Sis, that right there, that is emotional maturity. That is a man who is not defensive, not prideful, not trying to prove himself right, but a man who is willing to reflect, to self-reflect, to take ownership, and to admit, I'm still growing, which is exactly what James 1:19 calls us into. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. And it hit me because I thought about my past, the toxic relationships, the cycles, the heartbreak, the chaos, and I realized no one would understand what I went through unless they walked it too. The pain, the confusion, the loss. But had I never experienced that, I wouldn't recognize the gift I have now. I wouldn't understand this kind of love. Because Romans 8:28 reminds us, And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. So for your royal training, I want to give you a few points, all right? Because sis, this is what I need you to look for. Not perfection, not a man who has it all figured out, but a man who is willing to learn, a man who can look within and ask, does this part of me work for this relationship? Because that is rare. Because a lot of men will protect their ego instead of protecting the relationship. But a good man, a God-led man, he will be willing to grow. He will be willing to be corrected. He will be willing to evolve. And the Bible is clear about this in Proverbs 12:1. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid. That's strong, but it's truth. And a teachable man welcomes growth. So look for teachability. Point number 2. Let's talk about timing. Because me and my good guy, we joke all the time like, we should have met earlier. We could have had kids by now. But deep down, we both know the truth. We weren't ready. There were things in both of us that needed to be healed, that needed to be learned, that needed to be surrendered to God. And if we would have come together too soon, we would have ruined what we have now. Sis, God is not delaying you. He is preparing you. And he is preparing the man that is meant for you too. God makes everything beautiful in his time. You can trust that delay is not denial. It is definitely divine preparation. Sis, can I share something personal with you for a moment? I waited for my good God guy for 10 years. 10 years. And it wasn't because nothing was happening. It's because God told me to stop dating and to wait on his plan for my life. And I made that decision in that moment to surrender because I had dated the wrong men. Men who looked good on paper, men I thought that might be the one. There was one particular, no names, but I really thought he could have been my guy, but he wasn't. And I see it so clearly now. He didn't have a teachable heart. He wasn't emotionally mature. He wasn't willing to grow at all. And at the time, it hurt. It confused me. But now I can say with confidence, that was divine protection. Because what I thought was rejection was actually God saying, that's not who I have for you. And some of you might be experiencing this right now. You might think he is a great guy and he's the one, but God could possibly be saying, that's not the one I have for you. All right. And says, I got tired. I got tired of dating, tired of choosing wrong, tired of trying to make things work that were never aligned. So I said, God, I want your plan for me, not mine, yours. And I meant it. I didn't know it was going to take 10 years, but I waited anyway. And while I waited, I prayed for my husband. I asked God to prepare him, to grow him, to shape him into the man I would need. And at the same time, God was working on me too, girl. Because let's be real, I still had things in me that needed healing, that needed refining, that needed surrender. And then God delivered at the right time, in the right way, aligned in his will. And no, he wasn't perfect, but he has a teachable heart. And our relationship is natural. It's peaceful. It's aligned. And from the very beginning, there was unconditional love between us. It wasn't forced. There wasn't confusion. It wasn't crazy chaotic. It was just right. Even though I still had fear of having my heart broken and I still have, have had trauma. I'm still working through trauma. And I had been gaslit. So there was my own individual work I needed to do in the healthy relationship. Because what I love the most about God is that we didn't come into this relationship finished. We came in willing to grow, willing to learn, willing to let God continue the work in us together. Because hear me, sis, God doesn't just prepare you for the relationship. He continues his work within the right one. And I actually want to do an episode on that one. Just like Philippians 1:6 says, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. And that brings me into this next point today. Point number 3. Your past helped you recognize the right love. I need you to hear this with grace. Those toxic relationships, those red flags, that heartbreak, it wasn't for nothing. Because now you can see clearly. You know that song, right? I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Come on, you know the words. I can see all obstacles in my way. Not a good song. I love that song. But come on, sis. It really did make you see clearly. And if you're not in that place yet, it's coming. It's coming. You're ever evolving and growing. You will get to the space where you can see clearly. Now you can recognize peace. Now you can recognize consistency. Now you can recognize emotional safety. And again, if you're not out of the fog, the mental fog and the healing part that you need to experience, when you get to this point, you do. I am telling you, you will recognize it all because you experience the opposite. And when you experience the opposite of what God has for you, you can compare. You can compare the two, right? And say, you know what? That's not God. But again, you've got to get very still and heal and learn to hear from God because he will give you the discernment you need. While I would never wish that pain on anyone, anything that I've experienced, I would never wish this on not a soul because it was some dark, dark days. I can say this with confidence, though. I understand love differently now. I understand this type of love differently because of what I've been through. And you will get there too, sis, if you're not there yet. God promises this in Joel 2:25. I will restore you the years that the locust has eaten. Come on. Thank you, Jesus. Your past didn't disqualify you. It refined your discernment. Now let's get into point number 4. A man who truly wants you will rise. I heard something the other day that stopped me. Even a man who isn't ready will prepare himself for the woman he truly wants. And I felt that because I've experienced it. Because when a man sees your value, when he knows what he has, he will not stay stagnant. He will rise. Now hear me. This does not mean you sit around waiting for a man to change, but it does mean the right man will not resist growth when it comes to loving you well. Because real love reflects 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not dishonor others. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. That kind of love, it grows. And the right man won't run from growth. He'll step into it with you. Point number 5. You will feel the difference. Sis, let me make this personal. This man, he makes up for every wrong one. Every toxic relationship, every broken friendship, every moment I felt unseen or unloved. He is my best friend. He is my peace. He is my covering. And the way he has grown, the way he shows up, I can't even fully explain it. But I can feel it because God is not a God of confusion. As 1 Corinthians 14:33 reminds us, and if I had one person standing next to me for the rest of my life, it will be him. Because when it's right, You won't have to convince yourself. You'll feel the difference. So I want you to ask yourself, am I holding on to men who resist growth? Or am I making space for the one who will rise to meet me? As 2 Corinthians 6:14 reminds us, alignment matters. Sis, God prepares hearts. And the man that is meant for you, he is being shaped, refined, and grown even now. Just like Philippians 1:6 says, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. So don't you settle for resistance. Don't you settle for emotional immaturity. And don't you settle for a man who refuses to rise. Because the one God has for you, he will love you with intention. He will grow with you, and he will reflect the heart of Christ in how he shows up for you. As Ephesians 5:25 says, husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. And when you experience that kind of love, you'll understand why nothing else worked out. I love you. I'm rooting for you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Sis, if this episode spoke to your heart, don't forget to subscribe. Leave a review on Apple Podcast and share it with another woman who's on her healing journey too. And if you're ready to go deeper, come join us inside the Royal Guard. The link is in the show notes. This just isn't about finding love. It's about becoming the woman who can walk in it, build it, and sustain it with God at the center. Until next time, keep your heart soft, your standards high, and your faith even higher.